Hello and welcome to Fashion Report Friday, the weekly video series trying to get you the most MGP humanly possible from the Mandeville Gold Saucer every week on a Friday when judging begins. For this week then we have the theme Roaming Researcher. The individual clues include Mountain Bread for our helm, Brain over Brawn for our chest, Roused Trousers for our legs, and Near Eastern Nights for our feet. In this video we have a 100 score, an 80 with dies, and the easiest 80 possible. So without further ado, let's look at this 100. Bear in mind that all of this stuff is timestamped in the comment section that's pinned below, or using the YouTube's chapter feature so you can jump around to your heart's desire. For the 100 score then, as you can see, I went for the Nomad's Cap of Aiming. Any Nomad's Cap in the game, obviously from Bardam's Metal, the level 65 dungeon added in Stormblood, will work. You can find the Nomad's Helms obviously from just before the second boss from the chest, or of course from the boss itself, the second one, and just basically go for whatever helm you can get, and that will give you 100 score. Alternatives to that slot include the Kudzu Cap of Crafting, as well as the Tiger Skin Cap of Gathering. Although I have not confirmed those two, historically those have been accurate. For the body then, I went for the augmented chest piece here for aiming. You can get these, obviously, the Shire related items from Idleshire, specifically from his mainer, the middle NPC, as you can see here. If you go to the Disciple of War or Magic tabs, you can find for 510 poetics the purchase of a chest piece. Any of these should work for gold rating, so pick whichever one will go with your helm. For the legs then, in this particular 100 then, we have the Hempen Trousers. This is something you can obtain from the levels 10 to 19 tab off of any low-level city-state armor vendor, such as Gwalter here in the Sapphire Avenue exchange area of the Steps of Thal Market District. This will obviously cost a very little amount of gil, but will lock you behind level 10 of Disciple of War. Alternatives to this slot are quite many, including the linen trousers as well as the padded linen trousers, as well as one option you might want to go for, although it does cost MGP, is the Gambler's trousers. Those will cost you 40,000 MGP, but of course we're here to make MGP, not spend it, so I went for the level 10 Disciple of War locked hempen ones. And finally, for the boots, I went for the Favnarian sandals. You can alternatively go for the Favnarian babouches as well, both of which are crafted. As you can see, here's one of the recipes in the game for the sandals. Alternatively to the babouches and of course the sandals, you could go, I think, for the married leather babouches of crafting or gathering, although I have not tested those two today. But both the Favnarian babouches and sandals will work for gold rating. So as you can see, the 100 score isn't too bad this week. Of course, you want to go with whatever you have access to. It's not very alt friendly as far as I can tell, so let's move on to stuff that is, including the 80 with dies, and then of course the 80 with obviously the easiest options we can find. Alrighty then, welcome to the dye options. For our weapon then, you need to dye any weapon in the game metallic purple. That will give you the best in slot dye. Any helm in the game then needs to be cockern brown dye. Any body in the game that's dyeable needs to be metallic silver. Any hands and indeed the feet need to be salmon pink. And finally, jet black for our legs. So of course these dyes aren't too bad, but of course the jet black is going to cost you a fair bit. It'll cost you real life money, or it will cost you quite a bit of money on the market board, unless your retainers have brought one back if you're lucky. But yeah, apart from that, the dyes aren't too bad, especially the salmon pink, so that's something to bear in mind if you want to use that in the Easy 80. Speaking of the Easy 80, let's move straight to that. Okay, so for an Easy 80, it's very simple really. All I did was combine the Hempen Trousers, which again are from low-level city-state armor vendors, again locking you to Disciple of War level 10 and above, and of course equipped the Favnerian sandals, which we created earlier, which are equipable by all classes in the game level 1 and above. Of course, you could do this without the Disciple of War requirement, but you're going to need to mix and match items from the 100 score earlier in the video, and probably some dyes. So one of my recommendations would be to probably go for the sandals, and then dye your legs, and then probably your chest piece as well, something like that. But again, this is a fairly simple 80. We're getting slightly over 80 because of the extra points we're given from just having something equipped in 2 slots at the top there. It's not particularly difficult this week, so I'm pretty happy about that. Of course, the 100 is the thing that's like the major blocker, isn't it? Locking you to a level 65 dungeon for the most part for the helm. But at least the die options and the easy 80 aren't too bad. Anyway, much love. Make sure you put your Jackpot 2 buff on if you're in an FC. Use personal buffs. Those all stack together. And make yourself some MGP once you physically can. Hopefully this helped. A link in the description will take you to the Reddit thread where a lot of this stuff is feederized each week. Feel free to give it some love. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.